TV shows are filled with iconic characters that left their mark on fans, and once that happens, we're hooked. We simply need to know what's going to happen to them. In fact, sometimes it's the impact of those very characters that bring us back to the show again and again. So that's what we're talking about today. Let's look at some of the most memorable characters on TV and the best episode they starred in. First up, in 7th place, Jaskier from The Witcher. The Witcher introduced us to another fantasy world where Henry Cavill played the Witcher, Geralt. Eventually, the super cool monster killer stumbles upon a tavern where he meets the traveling bard, Jaskier. While he offered the show some much-needed comic relief, it's his chemistry with Henry Cavill that really made the show. Yes, the bard was annoying, but it was Geralt's reaction, such as telling him he's the worst singer he's ever met, that makes us want to see more of the two. Fortunately, we see Jaskier return to the 2nd season, and things are very different from what we remembered. We finally meet him in the 4th episode, Redanian Intelligence, where he now calls himself the Sandpiper. It's revealed that he has been helping smuggle elves into Sintra. Yennefer learns of Jaskier's identity when she sees the bard singing the classic Burn, Butcher, Burn. The Butcher is meant to be the Witcher, by the way. Very subtle on Jaskier's end. Honestly, it's the raw emotion that Joey Beatty brings to his performance that makes his reappearance very memorable. Following that, at number 6 is Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We're going a bit old school here, but we all know Spike deserves a special mention on this list. The show had a knack for introducing very intriguing new characters that, at times, seemed better than the original cast. Spike shows up in the 2nd season, and at the same time, the show became a big hit, and we don't think that's a coincidence. He stole the spotlight in every scene and compelled fans to continue watching. The show introduced the character as a villain who was only going to be in a couple of episodes, but we're glad the writers saw the potential his character had and gave him a bigger role. In fact, his complex character kept us on our toes as fans tried to label him a villain or an anti-hero. Moving on, in one of our favorite episodes, Fool for Love, we learned so much about our favorite vampire. The episode dived into his background and offered James Masters the ability to show us just how talented he was as he portrayed all of Spike's versions. Let's just say, it's not just one of the best Spike episodes, but also one of the best of the series. Next up, at number 5, we've got Eddie Munson from Stranger Things. Stranger Things has a knack for introducing amazing characters and killing them off almost immediately. First, there was Barb. Then we had Bob, who was followed by Dr. Alexei. While they didn't live long, the Duffer Brothers know just how to introduce new people. In the latest season, the fan-favorite newcomer is none other than Eddie Munson, played by Joseph Quinn. As soon as Volume 1 was released, everyone knew that fans had a new person to fan over, and boy did that turn out to be true. Quinn's face was all over our socials, and we can see why. Eddie showed up all frantic, loud, and chaotic, and offered up everything the show was missing. He wasn't just a nerd who played Dungeons & Dragons, but was really into metal, and no one can forget the solo in the Upside Down. And his final arc is also one of his best. He finds his guitar and holds one of the most metal performances ever to be seen on TV. So much so that Quinn was invited by Metallica to perform Master of Puppets with them. Once he'd attracted the attention of the Demo Bats, he used a bicycle to drive them away from Dustin. Unfortunately, in his selfless moment, Eddie lets the Demo Bats attack him and later dies in Dustin's arms. Now you can see just why he had a hold on viewers all over the world. Coming up in 4th place, Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Yes, everyone's favorite criminal lawyer made such an impression in the Breaking Bad that he was given the lead role in his spin-off. In fact, Walt and Jess called upon him for advice every time they needed help, and that happened a lot. Gradually, Saul became one of the most important characters in the series, which earned him the starring role in Better Call Saul. Now, the most impressive bit was Bob Odenkirk's portrayal of the sleazy yet very capable lawyer. Honestly, he succeeded in making us care for the lawyer who, despite weirding us out a bit, proved to be a problem solver, advisor, and trustworthy attorney. It's his appearance in Caballo Sin Nombre in the 3rd season that proves why he's repeatedly called upon by Walter. Saul proves that he's super calm and collected in the face of pressure, convincing White to stop worrying about Skyler's threat, and who could forget his devious plan to purchase Jesse's parents' house. Like the majority of the characters, Saul definitely works hard, but he also puts himself first. Moving on to number 3, Emily Gilmore from Gilmore Girls. Every time we watch Gilmore Girls anew, we remember that there are actually 3 Gilmore Girls in the show: Lorelai, Rory, and Emily, the oldest of the bunch and our favorite. When you start watching the show, Emily is clearly meant to be the antagonist. She's a cold and distant mother who appears to care more about what people think instead of what's best for Lorelai, and that's the main reason why her daughter runs away from home and cuts off ties with her parents almost immediately. It's only when you see more seasons do things clear up. In reality, Emily is flawed just like Rory and Lorelai. Starting off, Lorelai treats Max horribly after accepting his proposal. Meanwhile, her daughter goes ahead and has an affair with a married man. The girls prove that they make mistakes as often as Emily, and at the end of the day, that's why they're so entertaining to watch. Having said that, one of our favorite episodes is Say Goodbye to Daisy Miller, where Emily delivers one of her most iconic lines. Yeah, the one about being open for business. But she also proves that she's independent and doesn't have to rely on her husband, who she's having a hard time trusting. Next, in second place, Steve Harrington from Stranger Things. Personally, no one in the show has grown as much as Steve Harrington has. From the entitled brat we saw in season 1 to the expert babysitter we know him to be, he deserves a lot of love, and the writers deserve a lot of credit. Harrington was a popular boy in high school with tendencies of being a bully. Right up to the final episode, fans hated the boy who had also proven to be a terrible boyfriend. So when he arrives in the final episode, sees the Demogorgon, and immediately runs out of the buyer's home, you almost expect him to drive away. But there's a reason that this is our favorite Steve episode. When he volunteered to clean the billboard that he'd painted with the choice words for Nancy, he proved there was a small chance he could improve, and he went all out to ensure we never questioned him again. Not only does he return to help her and Jonathan, but he's also the one leading the fight. With the bat grasped firmly, he saves Nancy once she's used up all the rounds and swings hard at the monster. Also, he proves he's as smart as the other two, as he not only grasps the plan immediately, but whacks the Demogorgon right into the trap laid out for him. It's really a wonderful sight. Finally, at first place, Oberyn Martell from Game of Thrones. If you followed Game of Thrones as ardently as most fans around the world, you probably expected this outcome. Oberyn Martell was mentioned in the books sometimes as the Viper of Dorne, but it was not until fans laid eyes on him that he became an instant favorite. Firstly, hats off to Pedro Pascal for making Oberyn as iconic as he is today. What's not to like? His wit that's equal to Tyrion's, or his charm that's equal to Jaime's? Not to forget the bright outfits that, for whatever reason, suit him a lot. And well, Pascal's really good looking too, so he's got that going for him. In reality, it's Oberyn's amazing personality combined with his passion for seeking out revenge for his brutally murdered sister that appeals to us. In our favorite episode, he volunteers to fight for Tyrion, but really is hoping to put an end to the Mountain's life. While he would manage to graze him, he overstepped and was murdered in one of the most gruesome ways ever shown on screen. But what else could we expect from the Game of Thrones? Oberyn may have died, but not before he was cemented as one of the most compelling characters in the entire series. That's a wrap for this video. Who's your favorite character from a TV series? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.